Hello and welcome to Williams Dog Training Company. We're here today with Fred and Henry, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Henry's ability to understand and respond to his obedience commands, the corrections and motivations that we give the dogs while we're working with them, and also the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot training leash, and he's going to keep the bulk of that leash folded neatly in his right hand, leaving his left hand free then to give the correction. And the correction that we give is a tug and release on the training collar, which is the second piece of equipment that we're using. And Henry has been fitted with his own personal training collar, and we will show you how to properly put that collar on and use it during your one-on-one lesson. Henry is sitting very nicely on Fred's left-hand side, and that's where all of our obedience training takes place. The first command that they're going to demonstrate for you is heeling, and heeling is proper walking on a leash. Fred and Henry take off now, and the command that you're going to give is Henry heel, and you're going to simply start walking. You'll notice that Henry has been trained to walk very nicely on Fred's left-hand side. He keeps pace with him, whether he's walking at a fast pace or a slow pace, and he does not lag behind on that leash nor lunge ahead and pull. We've also gone ahead and incorporated an automatic sit into the heeling exercise. So anytime that you're out and about walking with Henry and you stop, he's been trained to sit very nicely at your left heel position and remain seated in that position until given another command. And you will see those automatic sits frequently throughout the video here. Give him a second to get that scratch out there. There we go. Now the next command they're going to demonstrate for you is the stay command. It's a hand and voice command. Use the open flat of your left palm in front of his muzzle, and the one-word command to stay, and then walk out to the end of your leash. Now Henry should remain seated in his position throughout the entire command and should not break. You're going to want to practice your sit-stays frequently throughout the day to help build up his ability to sit and stay for longer periods of time. You'll start with low time increments of around 30 seconds to a minute, and upon his success you'll increase your intervals, working up to a total of 3 minutes for the long sit-stay. When Fred returns back, you notice he walks all the way around and behind in a counterclockwise motion, returning so that Henry is once again on his left-hand side, back in heel position. Henry receives some praise, and they're going to go ahead and demonstrate the heel sit and stay for you again. We use lots of positive reinforcement here at school to make it fun and motivating for the dogs while working them through their commands. You can either use verbal praise, tell them good boy, great job, or you can use some physical praise and give him a little scratch on the head there, or underneath the chin, on his belly. Just want to let him know that he's doing a good job in pleasing you by completing his commands appropriately. Fred leaves him in a stay again, out to the end of the leash. He'll give him a moment to hold his sit-stay for some practice, and then they'll demonstrate the recall or the come-on command. The command you give is Henry, come. He's been trained to come in and sit nicely in front of you, very nicely done. And then the finish, where he goes the right side of you, the back to the left, sitting nicely, great job. We'll demonstrate that again. It's very important that when Henry comes into you that he sits. We want to promote that appropriate behavior of sitting appropriately in front to get greeted, as opposed to jumping up, which is inappropriate. And then back to heel position, and they're heeling around again. When Henry comes home, you want to make sure you're practicing your commands both indoors as well as outdoors. And at first you're going to pick an area that's little to no distractions. And once Henry starts to gain his focus and you're feeling a little bit more confident, you can slowly start to introduce some distractions into your training sessions. Now the next command that they're going to demonstrate is the down command, the down from a heel position. Again, use the open flat of your left palm straight down towards the ground this time, and the one-word command to down. Then give that stay command and walk out to the end of the leash again. And of course with the down stay, Henry should remain laying down throughout the entire command. And practice this frequently as well throughout the day to help build up the ability to downstay for longer periods of time. Short time increments of 30 seconds to a minute. And upon his success, you work up to a total of 5 minutes for the downstay. Fred goes ahead and return back the same way, all the way around, behind, back so that Henry is once again on his left-hand side. Henry gets a little pet on the head there, telling him he did a great job. I'll demonstrate that again. You also want to make sure that you're setting aside about 10 to 15 minutes every day to work Henry through his commands in a formal obedience training session. You can even put the video on and follow along if it's helpful for you. But you want to make sure you're giving him that time to practice his commands. It's great practice for the both of you and will help with the transition of his new commands and rules back into the household. That down stay again for you. A moment to hold it for some practice, and then I'll demonstrate the recall command again for you from the down position this time.
Henry, come.
Gets up, comes in. Sits nicely, good boy. And around to the heel position. Great job. Now we have one last command to demonstrate for you. That's another down command, the second one, down from a distance. For this command, you're going to leave Henry in a sit-stay out to the end of the leash. And from the end of the leash, you're going to use your right hand to give Henry the down command. And he should go into a down directly where he's sitting. Very nicely demonstrated, Henry. Great job. We've demonstrated for you today all the obedience commands and Henry has learned here at school. It's been a pleasure working with Henry. We really have enjoyed him here at school. We ask that you keep us posted on his progress when he returns home. And we thank you again for choosing Williams Dog Training Company as your personal dog trainer.